Welcome to the Across the Bar podcast, where we talk about why today's headlines are important for your success at work. My name is Peter Raybar. I'm your first call on legal issues.
And I'm Laura Brownstein, and I should be your first call on anything related to comms and content. Peter, how are you?
I'm great. We decided to bring back a Across the Bar tradition today. So
we hope that you are going to be watching or listening to this while enjoying the holiday weekend. So
right.
We thought we would get a little bit of an early start and enjoy a libation.
What do you have there?
My new favorite drink is vodka with celery bitters and soda.
Wow. What's it called?
It's very herbaceous. I don't know.
The Laura?
Vodka celery.
Okay. Well, since it's like a heat wave approaching, I needed to go light and refreshing. So I chose a ranch water, which is a drink that's very popular down in Texas, and it was introduced to me. Tequila soda lime, introduced to me by my good friend Andy Dillon, who lives down in Texas.
All right, so we're drinking similar things: soda, alcohol,
very refreshing,
and a flavor.
Yeah, served in a highball.
And I have mint in mine also.
Oh, wow. So sophisticated.
I'm fancy. All right, we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, well, we're recording on the last day of June. June was a great month in New York. Let's just say it one more time. Knicks, World Cup, everything.
Knicks.
Vibes are good. Let's go July.
Vibes are good.
Continue the good vibes.
Yes. All right, so we're going to talk about today's SCOTUS rulings, which are sort of a vibe killer. This really interesting.
I was talking about New York, not DC.
Sorry,
the vibes in DC are messed up.
Vibes. Okay, we're going to talk about the SCOTUS rulings and what they mean for you. There are a lot of big rulings this week. What is going on with the body that polices financial organizations, FINRA, in relation to a case we told you about a couple weeks ago, where a guy got a big payout from JPMorgan because they fired him over a $600 expense.
The Salami incident.
Exactly. And then we're going to talk about a really interesting article in the Times from yesterday about how the AI workforce is changing things in the office. And I think that was it. We're going to talk about SCOTUS. Everybody remembers that Donald Trump has so far been able to name 3 different justices to the Supreme Court. Is that right? Amy Coney Barrett, Gorsuch, and Kavanaugh.
Yeah,
right?
And this morning there was a little slip up on NPR. He might be getting a 4th.
So NPR's Nina Totenberg, who is their longtime Supreme Court analyst, posted today that, tell the people,
that Samuel Justice Alito is retiring.
Alito. What am I talking about? Alito was retiring, and that seems to have been totally pulled back.
Yeah, it was briefly published and then pulled back. But there has been a lot of rumors about this, and would not be surprising if it was republished at the end of the week. I don't think Nina Totenberg makes mistakes like that. So,
great.
Maybe some website administrator did, but she wouldn't. So we'll see, and we'll see what type of person results there. But yes, there was a lot of decisions all over the spectrum. Some wins, some losses for the administration.
For the most part, the Supreme Court went in the direction they've been going for this whole term, which is solidifying the power of the executive branch. Would you agree with that characterization?
Yeah, I mean there is a theory out there called in constitutional lands called the unitary executive theory that John Roberts, the Chief Justice, is a big subscriber to and a proponent of back to his days working for Ronald Reagan, and that says that the executive, the president, should have a lot of power. A lot of power should be concentrated in the executive. And, as we've learned over the last 10 years or so, the Constitution really has a lot of loopholes for an executive to gather power in this way. And, there's been a bond, like a trust that we've had in presidents that they wouldn't abuse the power. And here we have a president who, has abused his power in countless ways, seems to enjoy it. And here he has a court that has endorsed at least some of the ways of doing that, including his right to overturning a 91-year precedent called Humphrey's Executor, which said that certain agency heads can't just be fired by the president because they're appointed by Congress. And part of, what makes government work in this country is having some stability in the agencies and not just, turnover every 4 years or 8 years, as it may be.
So basically, the Supreme Court said he can get rid of anybody he wants without cause unless they're with the Federal Reserve or the Boy Scouts.
The Boy Scouts.
I went and read the brief, my friend. I went and read the decision, and it cited that the Boy Scouts leader cannot be summarily fired, but all other agencies can, basically.
Well, I think there was a clear
rule. Sorry.
Clear line drawn to around the Federal Reserve, and then some questions raised about whether Article 3
So this means he's been trying to fire several people in the Federal Reserve. He's allowed to fire one of them and not the other one. Is that right?
No, I mean, they said he could potentially fire Lisa Cook if cause is established, but he could not just fire them.
But it's not just at his pleasure.
Right, exactly.
But what about Slaughter? What about the other two people that he wanted to fire?
Yeah, the FTC people he could fire. Yeah, exactly. He could fire people in those agencies. And what Justice Sotomayor said in her dissent
is a disaster.
Which she read from the bench for emphasis while staring at Justice Roberts, who was not looking at her, was that this is going to create chaos.
Yeah.
And guess what?
Get rid of anybody who says something he doesn't like. So keep this in mind. If your town has people are getting sick from the water, and someone at the EPA says, "I'm going to look into that," but it's politically advisable for the president to support whatever industry that is causing that pollution, that EPA administrator will probably just be fired, right?
Yeah, and I think for the purposes of this podcast, the audience here, I mean, the key takeaway is that, forecasting and predictability in government is going to be virtually impossible.
Out the window.
Out the window. So, I mean, even today, the EEOC just threw out affirmative action guidance that's been in effect for over 50 years.
Well, I didn't see that. What was it?
Yeah, I mean, they rescinded all guidance on how to carry out a lawful affirmative action
So
program.
Is any affirmative action measure now unlawful?
I think the government would argue that, yes. I think they would. And they have. But getting back to this case, the Slaughter case, I mean, you can't predict how agencies are going to govern, because this now says they could basically turn over with every administration. And I'll take one agency that I deal with.
Do business that way. Like, why would anybody do deals with U.S. companies knowing that could happen?
Yeah, I mean, part of what we take for granted in this country is that the predictability and stability of our government systems is a huge business advantage.
Well, that is a huge part of our success. And
yeah, that's why people want to invest money here. That's why they want to buy property here. That's, why they want to start companies here, because this has been a stable, predictable business environment. Now we've turned it on its head, at least in some parts. Like, if you were to buy real estate anywhere in the world, you'd want to buy it in the United States because there's backing for title and transfer and ownership. Other parts of the world don't have these very basic things that we take for granted in the U.S. And now here we are taking our government, which is a competitive advantage. Whatever you think of it, it is a competitive advantage compared to other governments around the world. And
the
removing that.
The solidity of our government has been, I think it's not a matter of opinion, it's objective, that has benefited the country's financially, like incredibly, right?
Yeah, yeah. And, part of why this president was elected was because the business community was upset that there was too much regulation, that government was too involved in their business. And now they have the opposite, which is all the regulations were removed, all the predictable involvement was removed. And now you have the bribery, the paid to get something passed for you, pay to get something signed for you. I mean, if that's what you want, great, congratulations.
I mean, it is startling. But one good thing that happened today, again, we're filming on Tuesday, is that birthright citizenship was upheld,
Yes.
which
5-4
predicted that. But oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, 6-3, 5-4 on other points. It was the president's first executive order. One of Stephen Miller's. Beautifully scripted.
Who voted against the continuation of birthright citizenship?
Alito, Thomas, and Kavanaugh.
Who I don't hate is Amy Coney Barrett.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that.
I feel like she votes as her understanding of the law guides her, not simply for the political pleasure of the president. Do you agree?
Yeah, and I think the president would even agree with you. He's called her out on many occasions and said how disappointed she's been.
It wouldn't be a compliment from him.
No, and her family's been threatened. I mean, it's very unfortunate, that someone who's just doing their job the way they're supposed to do it is threatened. So
good job, Amy Coney Barrett. We see you.
Well, on
Brett
certain
Kavanaugh.
cases, yes.
You're a sorry excuse for a person. Sorry.
Well, okay. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So
by the way, the other thing I would say is, I think a lot of intelligent, aware people would understand and agree with the damage that Citizens United has done to our political system in our country. And today there was even further
remind
stripping.
Everybody what Citizens United is and what today's ruling.
It's basically allows corporate entities to invest in
it allows
campaigns.
Unlimited anonymous fundraising, right?
Yeah. And so today, one of the decisions, removed limits on how political action committees could align with candidates to spend money. So further remove limits. And so if you didn't like those commercials, if during election season you thought there were too many of them, now there's going to be a lot more of them, a lot more corporate influence, a lot more individual influence.
But they didn't release any of the rules around coordination between PACs and campaign leadership, did they? Like that communication is still has walls to it, doesn't it? Or am I making
No,
it up?
not after today. No.
Wow. Oy vey.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
The
watch out for
other
that.
really notable one today was that female trans athletes cannot compete in female.
No. The decision was states can pass rules banning transgender
I'm
athletes.
sorry.
So
Yes.
they didn't say who should compete or not. They just said states have the rights to make rules about it.
And why did they think that this was something that the states should have decision-making over versus, say, reproductive rights?
I mean, I have not read the decision, but from the pieces I have read, the rationale was that states and governing bodies of these athletic organizations have better ability to make these decisions than governmental entities. So,
okay.
All right.
Okay. There we are. Okay, so the executive branch is going to have more power going forward, and that means what for people and their companies and jobs?
Well, that means when I become president, I'm going to have a lot of power. Plain and simple. I'm going to be a very powerful president.
Okay, I'm ready for that. Sign me up.
Look,
Your presidency.
It certainly makes your decision of who is president, which is already a very important decision,
Even more
important. I mean, and to the extent that people say morals don't matter, values don't matter. I mean, everything matters. This person has a lot of control. And in a time where, Congress is pretty ineffective, to have one person have this much power and influence over the country is really not what was envisioned, in my view, by the founding fathers.
But it's also, people should have an awareness that this is a very, let's say, laissez-faire administration when it comes to business practices. And now that the executive branch has even more power, one might assume there'll be even less oversight and restrictions of business.
Again, the less formal, regulated, transparent restrictions. There will be a lot more of the, if you want to get this deal approved, you need to include my son's company in it type stuff. I mean, there was...
So this is just like a highway to kleptocracy. This is just like a...
It's a clear path. It's a clear path. I mean, if you read the article over the weekend about, rare earth materials in Kazakhstan and the profits...
Oh my goodness. This was incredible.
The Trump kids and the Lutnick kids.
They made deals.
It's crazy.
Based on the president's son getting contracts.
Right.
Man, insane. All right, let's...
Hard to ignore.
We're going to get out of the SCOTUS and business stuff. We're going to talk about a couple really interesting stories this week. Okay, so we talked a few weeks ago about the guy who got fired for like a salami plate was the thing. But
yeah, the salami incident.
Spent $600 some that he charged to JPMorgan. He had made millions or billions for the company, but they were mad at the $600 spend, and yet they were told that they were wrong and they had to give him X millions in renewable.
$4 million.
$4 million. And that was done by a body called FINRA, that's an acronym, and it's the sort of agreed upon group that regulates the financial industry. But JPMorgan was so mad that they were told to give punitive payout that they want to upend the whole system. Even though from what I read, it's only 2% of judgments a year that they do involve punitive payouts. But discuss.
Yeah. Look, it's kind of wild because, first of all, J.P. Morgan and other banks, created FINRA to regulate to regulate the industry and also conduct, and they force their employees to waive their rights to bring claims in court and to bring them in front of this panel of arbitrators, and it's private. It removes publicity concerns in most cases for the banks, gives them a lower cost, but also, there's a lot of cost to the individual, more so than in courts, but also what was perceived to be a more controlled environment, whereas juries and courts seem to be out of control to companies. And now they've had a number of verdicts, whether it's this Salami case or there's some other consumer cases where there were punitive damage verdicts where now the companies are saying, well, we created this institution, but you know what? We don't like it. We don't like the remedies.
Yeah.
So we're going to... Yeah, we've lost some cases. So we're going to change the rules. We don't want
any oversight is basically what they're saying.
Right. And look, this is just another example of companies' corporate powers just being unchecked at this point, and saying we're forcing you into this forum and we don't like the rules, so we're changing the rules. The individuals have no say. And so, I thought it was interesting. It's not just about the salami case; it's about other cases as well.
Well, it's about the continual erosion of any oversight, right?
Yeah, right. I mean, companies don't want to be told what to do, and they're just leaning on the individual as much as possible here. And now they're leaning on the governing body. And by the way, doing something like this also sends a message to the individual arbitrators, who work for FINRA and other similar bodies of hey, if I go outside, if I disappoint these companies, this whole system may be gone. My whole living may be gone.
Clients in the financial industries differently because of this?
Would I guide them differently? I mean, sometimes you don't, most of the times you don't have a choice. You're subjected to this. It's a standard term in finance industry, at least with the banks, not the hedge funds, not private equity, but with banks, that you're going to be subjected to the rules of this organization if you have a dispute.
It seems like they're not.
There's not much you could do about it. Like it's a
Well, they're
whole...
trying to do something about it, though, aren't they?
No, I'm saying an individual can't do much
Yeah.
about it. So.
Okay, another
But
story.
but I will say, like, as an individual negotiating agreement, like, you're not. I get asked this question all the time. One thing you really can't negotiate in a contract is whether you're subject to an arbitration clause or not. Like, you could try, but companies are not going to make that exception for one individual
What
and
does that
have
mean?
it for everyone. So, like, contracts in finance say if you have a dispute, you have to have it. You have to bring it in front of FINRA. You can't bring it in court. A lot of other companies have arbitration clauses that say if you have a dispute, you have to bring it in private arbitration, not in court.
I mean,
And
when I was at Cosmo 10 years ago, 8 years ago, we wrote about how having arbitration as the solve in your contract usually works against women in sexual harassment situations.
definitely.
And that if you can get that out of your contract, you should.
Yeah, but you really, in most cases, you cannot. The company will just say everyone in the company has this. I've never been involved in a negotiation where a company's agreed to take out an
Oh,
arbitration.
really? That's interesting.
Yeah.
Have you?
So-
And you do many clients ask for that, and you're always told no.
They usually ask about it. Now, there may be some provisions where, a clause may say, and each party pays for the arbitration. And we may say, well, if you want arbitration, you have to pay for it. We're not going to pay.
And that you can get approved sometimes.
Sometime, like very rarely. You have to be very high value, very high
You're very
level
talented,
person.
Peter, that you get this approved.
I mean, I could probably count the number of times on one hand. Like,
Okay,
that's
I'm
how
giving you
rare
a
it is.
compliment. Just roll with it.
Yeah. Thank you.
You have a good lawyer like Peter, it can happen.
Thank you. I try.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, last article or thing we're going to talk about before we get to heroes and zeros. You sent me this article in the New York Times I thought was so interesting that a lot of companies are now putting the AI workforce into org charts. And that is a problem because they have found that coworkers do not review documents as closely when they are done by AI, which is the opposite of what should be happening because AI hallucinates all over the place. Also, this whole thing was so interesting. They found employees don't check the work of their AI coworkers as diligently, and B, because language learning models, which is what fuels AI intelligence, actually has a predilection for other AI authors, there is going to be a flattening and homogenization because AI is going to keep choosing AI references and thus having a lot more similarity of thought than would happen otherwise. This is so interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it's dangerous. We
Do
talked
they
last
have
week.
HR rules for these bots? What are they talking about?
I mean, they're going to need some. And I think a lot of companies are discovering the dangers of relying on just unchecked AI. I mean, I talked last week about some stories I heard from, clients of managers who've created agents to manage their team and how annoying that is to deal with, and the potential for AI work, infinite
yes, we did
work
talk
week.
about that, the burnout, the infinite work. Yeah.
But this is definitely another thing. I've noticed it a lot. I mean, clients, despite my protest, constantly send me AI generated documents. And it's gotten to the point where I can identify the things, the way it describes things, the way it organizes things, and I can also identify key areas where AI makes mistakes, particularly in interpreting contracts. And it's always wild to me that people
Is it always the same kind of mistake?
Yeah.
Which is?
There are, I mean, AI is not that good at reading contracts, I'll tell you. And it's people put their contracts in there, which they shouldn't do.
Right.
And then AI misinterprets certain terms, or just makes up terms. I've seen
Honestly, if
that.
someone sent me a contract right now, I would probably upload it and then ask you about it.
Okay, but let me ask you this. Would you upload it and then read what it says? Or would you just send it to me?
I would read it and then I would upload it and I would like check back and forth 100%.
Okay, so I'm telling you that most people do not do that. They put it in the AI and then they get the output. They don't double check.
No, I've had too many times where AI has just drifted, hallucinated. I know to always check, but
Right. So, I thought that was funny in this article. I mean, it says
that was
basically
really
like
interesting.
that it says basically that employees don't check the work of AI because if there's mistakes, they could just blame it on the AI or blame it on the tech people who prompted
They should be
the
checking AI docs more than those from humans, and yet they're doing it less.
Yeah. I will just tell you, that's not a winning strategy. If you want to blame the AI, that's not a winning strategy.
Nope.
You need to, I think the better strategy is to find the mistakes and point them out and convince your boss that maybe they should just rely on humans instead. What do you think?
I think that AI is a great support tool, but anytime you hand something in without carefully addressing it, you're probably making a mistake.
Exactly. All right. We agree. I mean,
Yeah.
we agree.
Yeah.
It's a
All right,
lovely thing.
heroes and zeros. Are you ready?
Of course I'm ready. What do you got?
Are you ready for it?
What do you got? I have like 10 zeros, but what do you have?
Wait, are you going heavy or light for your zero? Because I have both.
How about this? Let's do a heavy and a light for
Okay.
zeros. How about that?
Let's do it. Do you want to go first?
Since we have sort of a shorter episode today.
Okay.
So, my light. I was in DC last weekend.
Same.
Not for the 250th Great American State
Or
Fair,
the
but
Pride Parade, which was gorgeous, but really a traffic motherfucker. Go.
yeah. So I didn't go for the Great American State Fair, but I did drive by it. And you all may have seen the videos of like from inside where it was like totally empty. And it was. The interesting thing that has not been reported, but I can tell you from my firsthand experience, was that outside the gates, DC was packed.
Yeah.
The sidewalks outside were packed.
DC was thriving when I was there last weekend. Thriving.
People could have walked in. There was no lines, but they chose not to. They were doing other stuff in DC. It's not like the people weren't there. It's like people had zero interest. So thank you for whoever in the administration decided to waste our money in this fashion. Huge zero, I would say.
Huge zero.
But if you saw the traffic cam footage of what was going on outside the gates, it's even
What was it?
funnier how
Are you
empty
saying
it
this
was.
past weekend or the one before?
Yeah, just a few days ago.
Oh, so I was there the weekend before when it was
Yeah.
Pride, and it was like thriving. DC
No,
was
this past weekend was when the Great American State
Yeah,
Fair
okay.
started, and still going on. It's like empty every day.
So is that your light one or your heavy one?
That's my light one. My heavy one is, this Save America Act, the voting bill, which has been used to hold up the Road to Housing Act, which is actually an important bill and like the only thing Congress has like been able to get together and pass. But I don't think people fully, understand
The Senate hasn't passed it, has it?
the Road to Housing Act. Yeah, sure, it's ready
No,
for the
Save Act,
president.
They haven't.
No, and they shouldn't.
Obviously. I thought you were
and-
saying... Sorry, go on.
Yeah, and I think the Save America Act is a very dangerous bill.
Bad.
It doesn't just require. People think it just requires photo ID, but it doesn't. What it does is require, full documentation of citizenship, whether it's a birth certificate or a passport. Many people don't have passports. Many people can't find birth certificates.
Your driver's license is not enough here, people. Don't
driver's
get it
license is not
confused.
enough. And really, what it is
Okay,
is
so which one are you saying, though, is the zero?
the Save America Act is a zero. I think it should not be.
That we're talking
passed.
about right now. Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
Should
not
not be-
through the Senate yet. It's only through Congress.
No, I understand that, but the president is pressuring them to pass it, and they should not do it.
Yes,
It should not
they
be
should
done.
do it.
And I think
It's bad.
everyone needs to understand the danger of it. It's really a voter suppression.
It's very bad.
Very bad. Okay, your zeros.
So I'm going to do my heavy one first. What California State Senator Scott Weiner faced when he went to an LGBTQ rally this weekend as one of the biggest supporters of LGBTQ rights, trans rights specifically. I don't know if you saw this, but he got attacked
Yes.
about his views on Israel and Gaza. He had actually already said he thought there was a genocide happening in Israel, in Gaza. He had said a lot of things that they are looking for people to say, and yet he was attacked and harassed. I don't like, and people are saying it's not anti-Semitism, but that it's just about upset about what's happening in Gaza. But honestly, at an LGBTQ event, I just want everyone to be really clear on what the laws in most Muslim countries are about LGBTQ. They are not asking questions before they are killing anybody who is LGBTQ, much less trans. And that is a generalization, but like, I can't even believe all of these people were at this march talking about, like, it was an event, not a march, but like, just attacking him and not letting him speak, threatening him. He had to leave. And most of the cultures that they are talking about have absolutely no LGBTQ rights.
I mean, we don't even have to get to that point. It's disgusting behavior, and it's obviously targeted, and it shouldn't be happening. It's not a way to have discourse in this country. And, to say it's not an anti-Semitism, I have a hard time believing that,
Yeah.
So
seems like it to me.
Yeah.
Now,
you're lighter, Zero?
I am so excited for the new Supergirl movie. And I don't know why no one saw it this first weekend. I am a DC Comics person from way back. I like superheroes and comic books in general, but I was never a Marvel girly. I was always a DC girly. So I'm very excited about this new Supergirl movie. It looks really good. Crypto the dog, maybe the best character from the last Superman movie. I'm going to go see it this weekend. I think everyone should.
Well, why didn't you see it last weekend? You're so excited.
I was busy.
Oh, okay. Well, so was everyone else watching the World Cup.
But they saw other movies. They just didn't see that.
Toy Story. I mean, you got to see Toy Story.
Are you going to see Supergirl? Are you a superhero movie person?
Yes, in a big way. And
Are you a Marvel or DC?
Marvel. Well, I don't know. I like both. I mean, I love the Batman series is probably my favorite.
I don't love
the
Batman.
Superman movies have generally, the like new Superman movies have generally been disappointing. The last one was pretty good, which Supergirl and the dog were in. So.
Superman 2 is in my top 3 movies of all time.
But that's like the old Superman. Those movies were great. The new Superman
2.
Kind of.
What a gorgeous movie.
Yeah.
If anybody here has not watched the extended director's cut of Superman 2, it is a joy and a gift. Just putting that out there.
Did not expect you to go there.
Richard Donner had his own cut that was different than what DC Comics wanted at the time, or I guess the Salkins, who were the producers. And it's magical getting to watch the Richard Donner director's cut and seeing scenes from Superman 2 that you've never seen before. Actually, I'm going to make that also my win. Okay. Well, I have 2 wins. I have a deep win too. Okay, what are your wins?
No, go ahead. You're on a roll.
I'm on a roll. I think this 250th anniversary is a really good time to think about what you do love about America. And I have thought about it a lot in the last year or so. And I deeply believe that our power and strength comes from our diversity. That the more ideas and opinions, even the ones I don't agree with, that are part of our national conversation and part of our national just culture, makes us stronger and better. And I don't know, think about I think this is a good time to sit back and think about like what is worth protecting as we head into these midterms.
Love it. Inspiring.
Yeah, but also
America.
Watch Superman 2, Richard Donner director's cut.
Yeah, and also watch the USA game tomorrow night, 8 o'clock.
I'm not going to do that.
Against Bosnia Herzegovina. Okay, my hero is very light. I'm keeping it very light. There seems to be a return to music videos in the music industry. I'm very excited about this as someone...
What's your favorite music video of all time?
Oh, wow. I should have anticipated that question.
Take on me.
Wow.
Take on
I mean, that is an iconic video, right? I mean, that is an
Best
iconic
video
video.
of all time.
There's a lot of good ones. I mean, one of my favorite bands growing up was Guns N' Roses. They had some incredible videos.
Oh
like
my goodness, the one with
13,
Alicia
14,
Silverstone
15
and Liv
minute
Tyler,
videos.
where no, it was Alicia Silverstone who like pretends like she's like jumping because her boyfriend dumped her, but then she was on a bungee and like gave him the finger. Remember that video?
But they're making a comeback. There's some good ones that like the production quality seems excellent, and
So which one should we watch?
Check out. There's a new Phoebe Bridgers has a new album out, and there's a song called "The Lost Boys," and it's a pretty entertaining video.
I thought you were going to talk about that cigarette smoking seems to be back.
That's back too, but I'm not a proponent of that.
No, and I can't go anywhere near that because they're gorgeous and wonderful and addictive. And if I had one, bad things might happen.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I can't dip my toe in there.
Yeah, no, and we're not advocating it. So
No.
instead, go out, have a good time this, July 4th weekend, celebrate America. I think what you suggested is a great idea, think about
Think
things
about what you
love
care about ahead of the
America. And, hopefully there's a vibe shift going on. There was a piece David Wallace Wells in New York Times wrote about vibe shift going on, like people from around the world here for the World Cup, highlighting things that they love about America and how welcoming we are and what good people we are. And,
How good our beer is.
And to be honest, as someone who travels a lot, I had been hearing this around the world, like people thought the whole country had changed, that it wasn't just like a leadership thing.
Yeah.
And it's great to have people here having a good time, enjoying themselves, being safe, having fun, and being like, yeah, America, it hasn't changed that much. The people haven't changed. This is just a government.
But when you're traveling abroad and someone says, "Where are you from?" you say New York, not U.S., right?
I mean, everybody understands what that means. I've always said that. I've never not said that.
Like I have never said I'm from the U.S. I've always said I live in Manhattan. Or
That's
I'm
like a New Yorker thing. You always say you're from New York. That's it. People know what it means.
This was really fun, Peter. This was a good conversation.
All right.
I think drinking it make you more charming.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. A lot of people say that.
All right, everybody.
All right.
Have a great weekend.
Yeah,
Thank
you too.
Katie Raybard for producing.
And thank you everyone for listening, watching. Please subscribe, please share, and we'll see you next week on Across the Bar.
Thank you. Bye.